All right, here we go. Just wrapped up the whole work day, and I'm getting ready to go home. Gonna go hit that commute. Fortunately, I don't have to scrape windows in the afternoon. And I'm sorry if I do complain about the commute. It's really not that bad. But I wanted to pick up on what we were talking about earlier in the ride this morning. Simply that there are so many people who want to convince you that there's a hack or a shortcut that you can tap into, a secret that they know that will be able to make you more efficient, or you can get something for minimal effort, or you can get a better return on something for, like I said, more of a minimal investment. And I hope that if you find one of those, I'm happy for you. But I hope you don't subscribe to that mode of thinking, because I'm not convinced that hacks and shortcuts and biohacks and all those things are what they're cracked up to be. More often than not, I see somebody who's trying to peddle a book or a course or something that's going to get you to part with your hard-earned cash to unlock a secret to make you happy. And maybe there's truth to that, and maybe there isn't any truth to that. I don't really know, but personally, I don't subscribe completely to all of those. I think there are probably just a simple handful of things that you can do to be able to find the happiness that you want in life, or that you want to build in your life, and that you can find the health that you want, or at least that you're able to achieve realistically, and other things that you want to achieve, whether they're financial or they're spiritual, whatever it's going to be, because those opportunities are there for you to pursue, and you don't need somebody else to really tell you how to do it, per se. I mean, step by step, it might be nice to have something that can give you a little bit of a guide, but a prescriptive method that worked for somebody else given directly to you, probably not going to work for you. I mean, it might, but it may not. So I think that's what I'm trying to just talk through, is that sometimes you have to find your own way. Here we go. This light is usually all really backed up. But sometimes you have to find your own way to make things work. You have to find your own solution, your own process, and there's a lot of joy that can be found in that. So I hope if there's anything you get out of this channel, out of some of my ideas or ramblings, maybe, that there's joy to be found in the discovery. There's joy to be found in the process. And the destination isn't always the end goal. Sometimes it's the journey where the most change happens. I like that. Sometimes it's the journey where we have the most change occur. And when you get to the destination, you might realize, wow, I thought I'd be happy once I got here, but the happiness came from the journey. The happiness came from actually doing something. And that's where the most growth came from. Yeah, I think I've had a lot of experience. More of the experience in my life has been that way. I have found joy in the journey, not necessarily the destination. Not to say that the destination isn't great. You know, when you set a goal to get healthy and you finally achieve that, whatever you have set the goal to be, weigh so much, lift so much weight, exercise so much, be able to run a marathon, whatever. sometimes you get to that point and the joy isn't as intense as you think it's going to be. In fact, that reminds me of a time when I was younger. I was fixing up an old Beetle, and it was a lot of work to fix it up, actually. And I just dreamed of driving it. I dreamed of having it completed. So much of the joy that I had in fixing it up was this idea, when it's finally done, I'm going to drive it, and it's going to be so cool, and it's going to feel nice, and I'm going to find all this, I don't know, this reward driving this car. And you know what? It was kind of lackluster once I got it all together, and it was completely done, like finally done. I drove it around, and I'm like, yeah, it's an old Beetle. It was cool, it looked cool, and it was fun to ride in, and I appreciated all the work I'd put into it. But the serious joy that I got out of that experience was the restoration of the car. It wasn't necessarily having it complete, but it was completing it. It was the process of completing it. And that's where the most joy, the most happiness came from. Kind of sounds weird, but yeah. And maybe you've experienced that too in your life, where you get a lot of joy out of that. You get a lot of joy out of the journey. So guess I'd like to hear your input on that. If you want to offer some comments, that would be kind of cool. All right, this car, he's ripping to pass me. I'm going the speed limit, but here he goes. Here he goes. There he goes. Anyway, I don't think I drive that slow, but people generally tailgate me all the time, so maybe I do. Could just be my car. I don't know. Anyway, that concludes some of my thoughts. We'll catch up in the next one. I hope you have a great day, evening, that you wrap up whatever you're doing and can take some time for yourself and enjoy the journey. Keep on keeping on.